Hello, welcome back. This is Mr. Pigeon. Today I am going to be going over a little bit of information regarding our lessons for the next 2 weeks. This is for English 6. So thanks for watching, and let's just jump right in. We are going to be talking about an issue today. We're going to be discussing an issue over the next 2 weeks, rather. And this issue is a pretty hot issue in the United States, and one that we've talked about probably in the past, and something that you probably talked about in school at some point. Okay? Now, if you're not knowing what I'm talking about, let's actually take a look at something. Now, we're going to look at two individuals having a debate about this issue. Now, when you have two individuals, one of them or both of them might tell you why you should listen to them more. If they did that, they're talking about the morality of who they are. Again, the morality of their character. So if they're doing that and talking about the morality of who they are, and you should listen to me because I'm believable and you should trust me, that is ethos. Now, if you're giving a logical argument, that's the argument that just makes sense. That is logos. Now, if we're talking an emotionally charged argument, that's pathos, okay? Now, we've also talked about other rhetorical devices and other rhetoric and things like that in the past, but it's important because this is how you have a debate and an argument and how you can win that argument. So what we're going to do is take a small look at this just to introduce what our issue that we're going to be looking at. So if you received the material, you already know. So you should have gotten the packet. If you haven't, you should receive it hopefully by tomorrow. But if you haven't, please call the school and let them know. That way we can get you that information. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Right now, I'm looking at, or we are looking at, Emma Gonzales, who's on the left, and there's who is a survivor at Stoneman Douglas. And if you remember, that was the shooting that took place in Florida, the mass shooting in Florida. And she was a very outspoken, I don't want to say outspoken, I would say a very active individual in regard to this issue of gun control. So she's actually confronting or talking or debating with an NRA spokesperson, which is Dana Loesch. So let's take a look. I've keyed up a key moment where Emma has asked her a question. And if you know, or if you have seen her in the past, she did a very powerful speech that I believe was titled "We Call BS." So we're going to look at this moment right here.
Crazy people who are murderers. No, we've been actually talking about that for a long time. Let me answer the question. You can shout me down when I'm finished, but let me answer Emma's question. It is not federal law for states to report convictions to the NICS system. It's not federally mandated. That's the big question, and I wish that this network had also covered this more, as other media networks would have covered it.
So that's the question at the bottom. If you're noticing, it just chimed in. It says, do you believe it should be harder to obtain semi-automatic and fully automatic weapons? And her response was that the federal government didn't have, it's not regulated.
That's a huge, wait a second.
You guys, if I can't hear her statement, I can't come up with a rebuttal. Please.
Wait a second. Do you guys want to stop mentally insane individuals from getting firearms? Yes? They have to be in the system. If they are convicted, you can convict them, you can adjudicate them mentally unfit. If a state does not report it to the National Crime Information Center, when you run that form, this madman passed a background check. How was he able to pass a background check? He was able to pass a background check because we have a system that's flawed. The Sutherland Springs murderer was able to pass a background check because the Air Force did not report that record.
I think I'm gonna interrupt you real quick and remind you that the question is actually, do you believe it should be harder to obtain these semi-automatic weapons and modifications to make them fully automatic, such as bump stocks?
Well, I think the ATF is deciding about bump stocks right now. The president ordered the DOJ to look into it.
I'm asking your opinion as a representative of the NRA.
That's what the NRA's position has been. The NRA came, I'm talking for them. These are the 5 million members that I'm here representing. That is what that group's position has been on that. So that answers your question. And they spoke about that before the president made a move, and they spoke about that before Attorney General Jeff Sessions made an announcement about that too. So that answers your question with that.
For a second though, and I understand you're standing up for the NRA, and I understand that's what you're supposed to do. But you just told this group of people that you are standing up for them. You're not standing up for them until you say, I want less weapons. These people want 3 things. And I come here tonight with 39 years in law enforcement. I've Baker-acted people. I've taken weapons from people. The men and women I've worked with for almost 40 years. We know how to keep America safe. Number one, we have to, you're right, we have to take weapons out of the hands.
And I'm just going to interrupt right there. And the whole reason being, I don't want to go terribly too in-depth in the issue right now. There has been some decision making. There has been some changes as far as what this issue that they're talking about specifically right now in this debate. So there have been some changes, but the issue still persists, okay? And I think it's important to be educated on issues. So I want to try this right now. Let's take a look at this. I pulled this up. Guns in America, take the quiz. And I didn't share the screen yet, sorry. And Guns in America, I'm sorry, I was reading it off the screen and I didn't have it posted up. There we go. Now I have it pulled up. Here we go. So Guns in America, take the quiz. So we're going to take a quiz together right now. I want you to kind of follow along and answer the question how you see fit. Maybe write it down if you want. All right. You might even take some notes if you're interested. So it has become exceedingly challenging to cut through. I'm also doing something over here to cut through the ever-growing bramble of news coverage around gun rights and laws in the United States. What's fact and what's chatter? Let's take this quiz and find out. Okay, so number one, about how many guns are in the United States? So the possible answers are 140 million, 32 million, 270 million, 590 million, 8 million. So you take your guess, and I'm going to take mine. So I'm going with this one, and I was off. 270 million. The United States, with about 325 million people, makes up only about 4.4% of the world's population. But it has around 270 million guns. No other country has more than about 46 million guns. So I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Second Amendment, which contains only 27 words, has long been interpreted in different ways. Some believe it guarantees a collective right to arms. Some believe it guarantees an individual right to arms. And others believe the amendment covers both. In 2008, the Supreme Court clarified its meaning in a landmark decision. Which did the ruling explicitly support? A collective right to bear arms, an individual's right to bear arms, both? Neither. So this is 2008 that they were talking about. So Mr. Pigeon's going to take a guess and go right there. And I was right. Here's the decision. We hold that the Second Amendment guarantees an individual's right to have the use of arms for self-defense in the home, etc. Since 17 people were killed in a school shooting in Parkland, Florida, right here, President Trump has suggested several tactics to help deter mass shootings. Which of these is not one of them? Arming teachers, instituting a 7-day period for gun purposes, seizing guns for mentally ill people without first going to court, banning bump stock devices, which makes rifles fire faster. So it's the 7-day waiting period. Now, you don't want to watch me go through this probably any more than I might not be interested in what somebody else would be doing on a quiz, except if I was in school taking a quiz. So what I want to do is pull back, and just so you see what I was talking about, I would like for you, if you're interested, and because I don't want to, I think it's going to, in the interest of time, I just want to pull back a little bit and let you do this on your own. All you have to do is type in Guns in America, take the quiz. And I would like for you, maybe, I want you to go try it out yourself, okay? So what I'm going to do for me right now, I'm going to go ahead and finish up this quiz right here, because I actually am interested in how my results turn out. So why don't you go ahead, and I want you to Google Guns in America, take the quiz, try it out for yourself, read some information, let's get educated, find out what we can. Then tomorrow, come back, and I'm going to post up another video. So I'm going to leave you right there. I'm going to go ahead and finish my research, and you do yours too. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.